Hey, Trinity family, we're so excited for another session of Table Talk. You know, our mission here at Trinity is to prepare today's student for tomorrow's world, and tomorrow's world is ever changing. But I can tell you this with confidence that God is raising up some extraordinary students in our high school who are going to make a difference in the world in the future. So today we have Greg Brezina and Hank Woody with us. They're two seniors that have been involved in our school the last couple of years, and can't wait to introduce them to you. So Greg, tell us how long you've been here at Trinity, and what are some things that you've been involved with?
So yeah, this is my 5th year here at Trinity. I came in the middle of my 8th grade year. I've played football, ran track, done wrestling. I've been in most of the performing arts here, and theater and drama, and our worship band. I've been a part of the NHS and Beta Club, and gosh, is there anything else I missed?
Hopefully you've had time for some academics every now and then, right?
Yeah.
All right, Hank, tell me what you've been involved with and how long you've been here.
Yes, sir. I've been here since my 7th grade year, so this will be the end of my 6th. I've been involved in the clubs, like Greg said, so the Thespian Society, NHS, and Beta. But my favorite extracurriculars have been theater, marching band, fine arts, all of the music stuff.
Well, I think when people think about Hank Woody, for some reason we see you in shades directing the marching band. So you played that role really well. Well, tell me a little bit about your experience here at Trinity, because I think you've both had probably a couple of pivotal moments that really helped shape your spiritual life. And for you, Greg, it was really a scary moment from a health perspective. Can you tell us a little bit about what happened to you and how the Lord used that to really shape you and connect you to the Trinity community?
Yeah, so my junior year, I was playing fullback on the football team, and I was just having a really good season. And about 2 hours before we were playing Sandy Creek at home, I had what's called a malrotation or a volvulus in my intestines, where essentially they just like got all tangled up and then got knotted, and and when it rotated, I had probably about 3 hours to live. And they got me to the hospital really quickly and did emergency surgery, and I was all right, praise God. I was able to survive. But
I don't think a lot of people really knew how serious it was. I mean, you're eating with the team, and Dad just thinks it's nerves about playing Sandy Creek, right?
Yeah.
And there just seems to be cramps. But the fact of the matter is, your life was on the line, and you didn't really know that until you got to the hospital.
Yeah, it was. We didn't really understand the magnitude until all the surgeons came in, and it was all very quick. They were like, "Sorry, pal, you're not going to be able to play football anymore," and just be prepared to always have a diet for the rest of your life. And so fast forward, surgery went great. Surgery was successful. Everything came out perfectly. And one of the most encouraging things for me in that time was the people that came and saw me there. And you were there, and Mr. Bass came, and so many of my friends from Trinity came, and I mean, it was just such a blessing for me. And but what I will say is, how Trinity really affected me during that time was through our theater program. Actually, we were doing The Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe right when I went out. So that was a crazy fall. I was doing football, and I was also playing Peter Pevensey in The Lion, Witch, and the Wardrobe. And all of my theater friends were like, come back to theater. We miss you. We want you to come back.
So you can't do football, but you can do theater.
I can do
right?
theater. Yeah. And I was sort of on this diet. I'm not on a diet anymore, but I was on a pretty crazy diet then, and it was really just depressing. I had lost 40 pounds, and I was just tired all the time. I didn't want to get out of bed. And they were like, come to theater rehearsal. And I came to theater rehearsal, and it became the thing that made me want to get back up every day, and it gave me something to live for.
Yeah.
And the fact that we're performing about the love of God and just the grace of God, it's a skit, you know, the line which in the wardrobe, it would just, it's just like, it gave me something to live for, you know, and it reminded me of, it just helped me to continue to think about this Aslan that we have, this God. And so I would say without theater and the people that were around me, and I mean, of course, my teammates came and saw me, but, you know, there was no football to go back to. So theater really brought me out.
Well, one of the videos that I remember, I think your dad shared with me, is that you were playing some worship songs while in the hospital in your hospital gown.
Yeah.
So just talk about maybe just music as a whole and your heart for worship. How did the Lord minister to you in a time of questioning, in a time of, man, what is my life going to look like? Tell me what it means for you to be alone with God and to play a piano and sing a worship song to Him.
Yeah. So for me, I've played the piano and guitar for about 9 years now. And I took music lessons. I hated every second of it. It was awful. Hated music lessons. But I really learned how to play by the ear. And I would just hear something on the radio or on like a CD back in the day. And I'd just play it. And it got to the point where I became very good at it. And it became something to where, like, if I was stressed or upset or tired or angry, I have a piano in my room. I just go and play. And, you know, like, it's so therapeutic for me. And I feel like when I connect with God, it's at the piano. And like, those are moments on the stage playing the piano, in my room playing the piano.
Yeah.
Those have been some really big moments where it just like causes me to just surrender and to just lay everything down and just worship Him.
Yeah. Well, we see it in the scriptures with King Saul. He would bring in David to come in and play, and the evil spirits would leave, right? And I think there is something about music, because it brings us into the presence of the Lord when we're worshiping Him, and He can really minister to us. Hank, can you share about a time that was really formative for you? Sometimes the Lord uses difficulties in our lives to help shape us, inform us into the people that He's called us to be. And so can you look back over your life and just look back to a point where you say, that was a moment where God really came through in my life?
Sure. Coming out of a time of like quarantine and just kind of like isolation, that was my first year from homeschooling at real school, coming to Trinity in 7th grade. And being able to find a community and just to interact with students that also love God on a daily basis was just amazing and a game changer. For me, I also remember wandering in when my friend Callum invited me to drum corps for the first day, and I had no idea what I was doing, but just finding a joy in music like that. My dad had always been a musician, but finding an outlet for music in my own way was super formative for me. And just continuing into high school, it's been amazing.
I saw you playing the drums in church on Sunday, and just seeing you from when you first came here as a 7th grader to now you've developed all these skills and all. It's been really cool to see how the Lord has worked in your life. So you've developed these skills, but I want you to speak to, because whenever I look at you, Hank, you're always around people, and you have a great community. Tell me how important it is for a young man to have friends, not just virtually, not through social media, but really friends that you can look face to face, and mentors in the theater and music department. How important is that to shape you into what God has made you to be at this point?
I remember in the drum corps, we started off like with rudiments and stuff, and at first as a middle schooler, a squirrely middle schooler, it seemed like, okay, we've got to focus on these specifics, and it was like, let's get back to the fun part. But having a foundation in our music and form just led to it being way more fruitful in the end, and having a community outside of just school where it's one assignment to the next, one class to the next, just being able to connect with people in real life circumstances and in things that you enjoy as well. Because with extracurriculars that it's something that a shared interest. So just to have that and to have it all in the foundation of our faith and love for God is awesome, really.
One of the things that I appreciate about both of you, and I mean this, you both encourage others so well. I've seen it in theater. You both played major roles in theater, but one of the things that I see, you're upperclassmen, people look up to you, but you have both taken the time to really encourage younger people and your friends to utilize their gifts. I want you to take a moment and encourage a middle schooler, a future high schooler, or an underclassman. How important is it to get out of your comfort zone and be involved in extracurricular activities, whether it's theater, choir, athletics, whatever it is, to develop those communal opportunities that God uses to help shape us? Can you just speak to some students and encourage them to be involved? What would you say to them?
Well, I'll look in the camera and say this, but it's so important to not become one-dimensional. And when you become one-dimensional in your mind, you are eliminating the possibilities of your life that you have. And you're eliminating the different ways God can use you, and you're eliminating your potential. And, when I was a young kid, I didn't really know what I wanted to do, but the second I was able to just open up and try something new and really lean into all that Trinity had for me, I was able to experience all the wonderful fruit that God had to bear and all the bountiful gifts that he had for me. And I look back and I say, I'm so thankful I made that decision to, do so many things, because it's blessed me so much over the top. And I encourage every single one of you to dive into all that Trinity has and, really use it to figure out, who am I and what does God have for me? And I can personally testify to that. It has truly been a wonderful experience.
That's awesome. I think it's important for especially young men. Young girls, they have a tendency to go out there and really be involved in the arts. And so I appreciate having young men here that maybe they're involved in athletics or marching band, and yet they're still, hey, I'm going to do theater too. I'm going to really expand my horizons and be involved in the worship team. And Hank, how about you? What would you say to a middle school young man that is trying to figure out what God's doing in his life? How could you encourage him today?
Yeah. Like Greg said, I just really encourage that you get involved. For me, it's been more than just an activity or a hobby, even a love. It's been just a real true family for me. Getting to open up, not close off, open up and just open your heart to others, bear each other's burdens, see the best in each other, and push each other is so crucial for our lives as Christians. And for me, it's been huge just to be able to connect with people on that level. Again, over shared interests, but also just when you get to know each other more deeply and just hold on to each other and pray for each other, and again, bear each other's burdens as we go through life. That's
awesome. I love that. Well, can you share, I think our Trinity community would be really interested. Your seniors are going to graduate in May. That's coming up really quick. I know you're trying to get the most out of your high school experience, but what does life look like for you in the next couple of years?
Yeah. Well, for me, since I was a little kid, I've always wanted to be a pilot, and I still have that same passion, and it's not died in me. I've always wanted to be a pilot, and right now I have a lot of open doors, by the grace of God. I have a lot of open doors to become a pilot, and I'm still sort of looking to see which door I need to walk through, but yes, I do believe that that's what I want to do in the future.
Well, our steps are ordered of the Lord, so I'm sure he's going to open up a door for you, no doubt. How about you, Hank?
I'm looking forward to going to Georgia Tech next year. I'm a big just science and math nerd, so my intended major is biomedical engineering, but really I just want to keep studying those two. Along with that, I haven't figured out what specifically, but definitely drumming. I'm looking forward to their band program, whether it's a jazz combo or marching band down the line. I'm just really looking forward to, I love the research side of things in medicine, so I'd really love, if I can in the future, continue with research on medicines and just see where that leads.
That's great. Well, Trinity, there's some false narratives out there about this generation, that they are wandering about not knowing where they're going to go or what kind of impact they're going to make. Can I tell you that Trinity Christian School is raising up some godly men and women who have a purpose in their life, and that is to glorify God. And so whether it's Greg, who may be a pilot in the future, or Hank that's going into biomedical engineering, I'm going to have to Google that to find out exactly what that means. More than anything, their identity is not in academics or the arts. Their identity is in Jesus Christ. They're deeply rooted in their faith, and I have every confidence they're going to make an impact for the glory of God in Christ Jesus. To the Trinity parents, thanks for investing in Trinity. We appreciate you making a sacrifice so that your kids can really grow and mature in their faith. God bless you and have a great week in the Lord.